What's up, y'all? It's your girl EJ, and today we're going to be doing a rewatch recap of Ruthless Episode 5, Proving Grounds, y'all. Now, on this episode, the highest, of course, has already announced that Ruth is going to be his wife-to-be. They're going to end up watching a movie, and he's just being really, really extra nice. Like, the highest is really calm. Ruth has calmed him down. Like, he is definitely different from the episode before last when he was trying to slice Dikhan's arm off. Now, Dikhan, of course, is super salty, and he is just upset. Now, he's going to ask to see River because he always thinks that River has something to do with everything, and he is charging River up. I'm just like, come on, Dikhan, why we got to do River like this? It is what it is. Now, the highest is going to tell Ruth that he wants to see River. This is right after he just announced that she is about to be his wife, and he's just like, now he wants to see River. I'm just like, okay, highest. But, he's like, he got to switch it up. He don't want just her all the time. He needs something, a little variety. So anyway, she's going to go and get River and essentially save River from Dikhan and his wrath and his madness. And of course, Dikhan just gets even more angry because he can't stand the sight of Ruth at this point either. But he tells Ruth, like, look, I don't need your help. I need your head, because she's trying to tell him, like, look, we saved you. Like, we've done all of this, but Dikhan is just not trying to hear it, y'all. But anyway, y'all, Brian, Lacey, and Oliver are back at the camp, of course. I think I forgot to say this in the last episode, in the last rewatch, y'all. I was so caught up in the other part. But they got caught and they're all back in the punishment trailer. And so Lacey is doing too much talking. She just telling Brian things because Brian wants to know. He still thinks that he can get out of this situation. Brian still doesn't realize where he is. He thinks that this whole FBI thing is about to save him. Of course, he doesn't know that those calls never made it to Mac. So of course he thinks that the cavalry is going to come in. And I'm just like, bro, why do you keep saying to them like they're going to come in to get me? You're basically telling them like, hey, y'all weren't important enough for us to come in. We had to wait till we could get to the highest of the high trying to figure out where this thing stops. But because I'm in here, they're definitely going to come in after me. I'm just like, really, Brian? Is that what we're doing right now? So Brian does have a knife inside of his shoe. And so he asks for their help in order to get themselves cut loose and they get out of the ropes and out of the handcuffs. However, they're still locked in the trailer. So there's still that tidbit of information. So anyway, we are going to see that Andrew and Dikhan are going to end up talking, and Dikhan is so furious. I mean, Andrew can sense it coming off of him though, but it's so crazy because he goes on to say how everything is falling apart and that how he wants to marry her. And you can just hear the jealousy in his voice. And sometimes I'm telling y'all, I really can't figure out if Dikhan is jealous of Ruth or if he's jealous of the highest or if it's both. Like, I don't know which one he carries the issue with because, he has a thing for them both. So it is what it is. But then Dikhan goes on to tell Andrew how he wants to, shebang bang him. And I'm just like, whoa, that is a lot. So anyway, River is going to pop up just in time and he's kind of going to save Andrew from this awkward conversation. And he's going to let him know that the highest wants to see him. So anyway, Joan is going to end up asking Ruth about how she feels, about to be the highest to be. She's about to be the wife of the highest. And she also is going to come up with a plan to help River as well. Now, she's going to end up telling Joan, like, look, I need you to put this oxy inside of the safe because her plan is to make it seem like River has a oxy problem and that they keep it in the safe. So, of course, Joan is nosy and wants to know why. She's just like, just do it. So anyway, that's kind of how Ruth comes up with a way to help fix River's issues. So anyway, y'all, when the Dikhan gets in, the highest is gonna kiss him and he's all happy and you can tell that Dikhan enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? It's just so crazy because Dikhan is just so jealous, y'all. I'm gonna say that like a gazillion times because every scene in this particular episode, Dikhan was just acting super J, y'all. It was a lot. it was just too much, to be honest. So anyway, he is going to tell him like, look, River and Ruth basically saved you. You need to be thanking them because they talked me off the ledge with you. And of course, Dikhan don't want to hear none of this, but it is what it is. And the highest is going to be going on and on about Ruth because he's really impressed with Ruth. Regardless of what his preference is or what he likes, the highest really enjoys Ruth. Like, Ruth is something different to him. And he's telling Dikhan about her baby maker, and all of the things that she can do and how she, intakes his seeds and all that type of stuff. And Dikhan is just enduring all of this because Dikhan don't want to hear none of this. But he's just going on and on. I mean, the highest is caught up, y'all. Like, Ruth has got your boy's nose wide open. So anyway, y'all, Ruth ends up telling River later, hey, look, this is how you're going to save yourself. You're going to tell Dikhan that you have an oxy problem and that they keep it in the safe. And that's how you're going to get out of this. Now, we are going to end up seeing that Lacey talks about how they actually recruit housewives and drug addicts. And Brian is going to ask, have they seen, basically he was trying to see if they seen his wife because we know that she got an issue. And Lord, I cannot wait till we get to talk about her because that girl right there, ugh. She just a lot, y'all. But anyway, Lacey is going to say that they have seen her. Oliver doesn't want to talk to Brian at all. Oliver is like, they really are the government. We really not finna talk to them. Like, why are we talking to him? He can't help us. But Lacey just doesn't seem to care. Lacey has always been a hothead to me, though, y'all. Like, she's made a lot of wrong moves, especially, back in season 2 when she decided that she was going to snitch on everybody else just because she got caught. But if she would just calm down and play the long game, Lacey probably wouldn't have ended up in the situation she was in, but she just doesn't know how to play the long game. She needed to get out of there right then. So it is what it is. I kind of understand it, but at the same time, when you dealing with the type of situation that they dealing with, you got to keep a cool head and you got to play the long game. Otherwise, you're not going to survive. So anyway, we're going to see that Dikhan is going to ask Andrew to find out who actually killed Yancey because he ended up lying to the highest because the highest wanted to know if there was anything else going on. So he pretty much tells him about mostly everything, but he tells him that Yancey, was that he had to kill Yancey because Yancey was one of the deserters. But we all know that Yancey was killed by Tally, actually. And, that whole situation. But he didn't want him to know about that because he didn't want him to go off again. So he didn't say anything. And he says that he doesn't really like to lie to him like that, but he didn't have a choice. So he wants Andrew to figure out who did it. But we all know that Andrew already knows who did it. And then he goes back to want to talk about that conversation. And then Andrew is like, look, brother, bye. So, there's that. So anyway, y'all, Dikhan is so freaking mean to River. River is going to end up telling him about his oxy problem. And Dikhan is just like, look, it better be some doggone oxy inside of this safe. So, there's that. As many times as River has saved Dikhan, you would think by now that Dikhan would be a little nicer to him. But we all know because he, got the ear of his boo thing, because he's the younger version, he ain't really feeling River right now. So, it is what it is. But anyway, y'all, Manny is going to end up cornering Zane and he's going to tell her like, look, I've been thinking about this. And the only reason why Melinda came over here was because you had to have said something to her. Manny was the one who killed Melinda when she was doing fellatio on him because she tried to get his keys. And so then Manny tells her like, look, you're going to finish what she started. So then he's going to force her to do it. But then he gets all upset saying she's not doing it right. I'm like, Manny, you are just a little predator. Like, you are just doing too much. So this character, Manny, is just a lot, y'all. He is just a sicko weirdo. But we have to remember that everybody in this doggone cult, for whatever reason, they came there for a reason. A lot of the men who come there, they came there with motives. And I don't know. It's just not a lot of the men there are really stand up when you really think about it. So It is what it is. So it doesn't surprise me that Manny is like he is, because Yancey was very similar with his whole situation with Tally. So, there's that. So anyway, Zane ends up, running off, and poor Zane, y'all. I mean, it's just too much. But Dikhan does try to find out what's in the safe by asking Joan, but Joan is not budging. She won't tell him what's in the safe. She won't open the safe up for him, rather. She tells him that he has to ask the highest, and they just have this weird dialogue going back and forth. Eventually, she does tell him that the highest prescriptions are in there. So, it feels like that's enough information for him to move on and believe that River's story is what it is. So, so Ruth's plan works again. So anyway, y'all, the highest is going to end up finally deciding that he's going to go to the punishment trailer, and that he wants to go in, to see Brian. And then he's going to talk to Andrew, and he's like, look, you need to prove that you're not FBI, because of course, Dikhan believes that Andrew is the inside man. And at this point, the highest no longer really believes it, but he's like, look, you need to prove it, so you need to go in there and kill the FBI agent that we know is an actual FBI agent. And so that's where this episode comes to an end, y'all. So things are just getting even more crazier on the camp as we move on into the season. So anyway, y'all, go ahead and get the conversation started down below. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Let me know what y'all thought about all of the shenanigans that was going on in this episode. Meanwhile, if you like this video, make sure to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to your girl channel. Turn on your notifications so that you do not miss out on any of my future Ruthless content. Now, YouTube tells me that you just might like this video next, so go ahead and take a look. Until next time, guys. Peace.